All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. So today we're going to do, for the warm-up series of class, we're going to go through some timed exercises, kind of like we did last week, but I'm going to add a few new ones to that as well. And then we're going to go over some band work. And then lastly, we're going to break out the dummies and play on the dummies, kind of similar how we flowed last week, but just with some different stuff. So the first thing we're going to work is just being fluid. Let me change the camera here. So you're going to start on your feet in kind of a low stance with your elbows in tight, thinking about, remember, protecting that lead leg from the pick. And what I want you to do is just, we're going to work on what we call like a zigzag step. So from this, I'm going to step with my back foot up, and I might go into a full replace step, where if you watch me from the front, I go all the way up to the same line and step back, or you can go past the front line and step back, or lastly, I might only go halfway up and step back. So that's going to be making me travel to the rear. Now, as you're playing this footwork, sometimes you might do the replace and then spin a little bit off the angle when you step back. Step and spin. So I want you just to kind of move around a little bit and use those feet to change your angles and change your distance going forward and back on your feet. Always keeping a good solid foundation with your legs. Move around for a little while. We'll get this kind of fluid just to kind of warm up a little bit. Go ahead. Now, if you remember from last week, we worked that first position where from our stance, we keep that left hand on the inside of the thigh, and we just go down and tap the floor with our rear hand. So I want you to play this footwork that we're playing this week, and then occasionally switch your position, checking that lead leg and tapping the floor as you're flowing around. We'll go for about 90 seconds. Go. Sometimes maybe double pump it a little bit, so you act like you're going down for the shot, and then go back again, 1, 2. Just kind of flow and be smooth on your feet, changing the angles. Keeping that good base, so you want to keep your feet apart so you have a good solid base. Okay, time. Next position. Now, we're going to add this one and just the footwork and go ahead and combine it with the second one we did as well. So on this one, remember this last week. So on this one is if somebody's going to tackle your lead leg, they're coming in for a single leg dive, we want to get that foot out of there. So with this drill, sometimes if they don't go for a deep like an ankle pick or something, we might be able to block that drill or that shot when they come in just by kicking that foot back and sticking that arm down in front of their shoulder when they shoot. Sometimes if they're going all the way to the floor, we might need to tap the floor with that foot as we kick it back. So we're taking that lead leg and kicking it back as you touch the floor with your hand. So I want you to add that in. We're going to do another 90 seconds where we're working that rear hand tap and check the lead leg. We're working that zigzag footwork, and we're working that lead leg kick and check. And just play all three of those ideas and the variations of that footwork all together. Go ahead. 90 seconds.
Yeah.
Slow and be smooth. Keep moving. Working that lead on both sides, left lead and right lead. Okay, we're going to add something else to the game. Now, when you're doing the sprawl, we're going to do where I want you to be a little bit lower in your stance, especially since most of you don't have mats on the floor. If you don't have a mat, if you start low like this, you can go down very light. I can do that on the concrete. So you don't need a padding on the floor if you do it like that. Just try to be fluid. Tap, come down, and right back up. Now, when we're doing the sprawl for this next round, what I want you to focus on is sprawling in a circle. So when somebody's coming at me with the shot, if they're very aggressive, and I just sprawl straight back, I might be able to drive through me and still get the tackle. But if they come in and shoot, and I sprawl off to the ankle, it's going to be a lot harder for them to get that shot in. So as you sprawl, I want you to think about circling as you sprawl. Now, when I'm in that sprawl position, if I just get back up like this, and they're still in front of me, I'm giving them the ankle pick or that single leg dive. So I want to stop and make sure that if my opponent's right in front of me and I want to get up, not to get up right here in front of them, but to get up at the angle as well. So on this technique, I want you to work the circle sprawl and then also circling on the get up. Play it to the right, play it to the left on both of those. So we're still going to work that rear hand tap with the lead leg check. We're still going to work that lead leg evasion with that lead hand tap. We're going to work our zigzag footwork, and we're going to work the circle sprawls going left and going right. Okay, let's go for 2 minutes on this one. We got a lot of techniques to work. Go ahead and flow. Keep flowing. Got about 45 more seconds, lots of movement, working that rear hand tap, the lead hand check, sprawl left, sprawl right, work your get-ups. Keep flowing, 15 seconds. Okay, now, this next exercise, this is the last one we're going to do on this series. And when we do this one, we're working a throw on this drill. So when you do the throw, I'm thinking about like, I'm pushing and pulling with my partner, and I want to step in and get underneath him on this drill. So they're away from me. Maybe we're tying up on the wrist. Maybe I've got a lapel. Depending on what the grip is, we can do it from any range. But I'm going to step in and get close to him. So I've got my arms here. As I step in, I'm going to get my body close. And as I get my body close, if I've got his arm here, this hand, I'm going to visualize going under the arm. So as I go under the arm, I'm going to drop to my knees and come here and throw. So I'm getting underneath him. I push him away. I come in and drop to the knees, get up. So I want you to put that takedown in to everything else we've been doing. Now again, if you're not playing on a mat, when you go down, push, turn, sit, row, come down to a squat, and then just come to your knees easy. Again, if you do it slow like that, you could do that on concrete. It's not going to hurt your knees. So just go nice and easy, push them away, step inside, underneath, and come down, and then we can play all of our other drills. Okay, so let's go and be fluid and add that into our shadow boxing. Go ahead. We'll go 2 minutes on this one. And then still work your sprawls, still work those rear hand taps, that lead hand replace. Play all the techniques we've worked so far. Eric, are you okay? Your video seems messed up.
Can you hear me, Professor? Yeah, I don't know why. I was having problems, so I switched computers.
Okay.
and I can see you just fine, but I can't see myself. So
Okay, all right.
I'm still here though.
Okay.
I'm not just sitting in a chair having a drink. I'm
All right. Less than a minute left. Keep flowing, guys. Step inside, turn 180 degrees, and go down to your knees on that throw. Ten more seconds. Keep moving. All right, good. Okay, now we're going to switch gears and go back and look at some of the band work that we worked on last week, and then add a little bit as well there. So go ahead and grab your bands wherever they are. And again, I think everybody said they have one, but just in case you don't, you can still do these without.
Professor?
Yes, ma'am.
I had an appointment with my PT therapist.
Yes.
And she's kind of asked that I avoid doing things on this arm for now.
Okay.
Because I guess the last time around, the tendons got pretty inflamed. So she asked that I
Perfect.
just work on this arm for now.
That's great. No problem at all. When we're shadow boxing stuff, instead of holding it in this hand, just kind of circle it here and work that, and just keep this in an empty hand. That's no problem.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for letting me know.
Uh-huh.
All right. So now what we're going to do here, we got our bands. The first one that we're going to play, bring this up a little bit. So I've got my square horse stance here, and a little bit of tension on the bands, not a whole lot. So from here, and the first one is I'm just going to sit down a little bit, and as I sit down, raise the hands over my head, keeping the arms straight, kind of like I'm getting held up from a gun. I just put my hands over my head. So I'm here. Let's do 45 seconds. Go. Try to keep moving the whole time. Okay, rest. Same exercise. Put your stance in a lead stance. Now when you're doing this one, you're going to come to the open side and twist the body and push off of that foot as you raise the hands. Sit down. Change sides. Change sides again. Do 3 sets on each side. Go. Other side. One more, other side. Last side.
I'm doing the one that she has me do.
Okay.
And rest. Okay, next exercise. Now, on this one, we're going to be working that side shuffle step. So you're moving to the left, moving to the right. As your side shuffle step, your hands are going to be circling. So I shuffle step to the left, and I sweep with the right foot. Then I shuffle step to the right, and I sweep with the left foot. So whichever direction I'm going, that's the direction that I go on the sweep. Sweep, circle, sweep. And go ahead and go. We'll go forward 90 seconds again.
Okay.
Try to just keep a little bit of tension as you're shuffling across and circling. If you're going to your right, you're going to sweep with your left. If you're going to your left, you're going to sweep with your right.
So this way.
So if you're going this way, you sweep that way.
Okay. So going this way, that.
Yes.
Going this way, that.
Exactly.
Okay. No. No, you shouldn't stand me.
Thirty more seconds.
Oh, that way. So now that way. And that way.
Okay, time. Next one. Now, we're going to start in our square stance, facing the direction of the tie for the band. Now, I'm going to step back, and when I step back, I want to cross step, because that way when I turn 180 degrees, I've got a good hip width stance facing the other direction. If I just step back like this, when I turn, I'm crossed over and I don't have much balance. So if you watch me from the front, when I step back, I kind of cross behind. So when I turn, I'm hip width. So with this exercise, get a little bit of tension, step back, cross step, turn, and pull using your core, using your abs, kind of crunch and throw them the other way. And then let's do the other side. Yeah, bend forward a little bit when you turn, Josh.
Okay.
Yeah, you're using that momentum, kind of hunching forward, throwing them over your shoulder. "30 more seconds. Okay, good. Now, this one, a little bit different. We're going to do the same footwork, but I want you to pull, if you have a light band, I want you to get a little bit more resistance on it. So maybe take another step back. And when we do this, we're going to already start with the turn. We're going to be just on one side, and we're going to focus on bending the knees, sitting down, and flexing our abs, kind of doing a crunch with our belly, and just making that nice and tight as you turn. Let's do like 20 on one side and 20 on the other side. Switch on your own when you get to the other side. Okay, we're going to do one more round on the bands, and on this round, we're going to combine the last 3 exercises. So we have our circles to the sweep, side step, circle, sweep. Then we have the step back and side turn, step back and side turn, or step back and over the shoulder turn with a crunch. Over the shoulder crunch. Let's combine all those in any order and any randomness you want. So just kind of try to be fluid. Sweep. And just flow with it. Let's go for 2 minutes. Less than a minute left. Keep flowing. All right, good time. Okay, we're gonna switch gears and go over to the dummy a little bit. So we're going to start warming up with some back attacks. So I want you to get in that rear mount position. I'm going to sit up so you can see me. You're welcome to do when you're laying down on your back. And the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to start with that seatbelt control. So I have one hand over the shoulder, the other hand under the armpit. Once you have, I'll give you guys a minute to get ready.
Thank you.
All right, so from this rear position, we're going to go over a few different submissions. The first one is the hand that's over the top. I'm going to dig it under the jaw, and with my free hand that's under the armpit, I'm going to open up this side of the lapel. I reach that in and I get a nice deep grip with the thumb in and right across the throat. Now this hand's free to reach around for the opposite side lapel, and I got my gi choke. Okay, let's do that again from seatbelt. Open up the gi, get your grip nice and tight, reach through with the other hand, and choke. When you do this choke, a common mistake I see is people will go over this arm. I don't want to do this because he can turn out and pull his head out this way. Now he's stuck, and I've got a good tight position. I've got good control on him. So that's why we're starting from the seatbelt. I start here, I open them up, I get my grip, come in. Let's rep that out, do 10 times on each side. From the seatbelt here, and then seatbelt on the other side.
Did you hear me crunch? My shoulder crunch.
So about maybe 30 more seconds, get your reps done. If you already did 10 on each side, do a few more.
You feel it?
Okay, go ahead and pause. Now, next position, basic rear naked choke, but I want to go over some good details to kind of help you polish it up a little bit. And the first is the hand position. Look at my hand here. I want to curl these fingers in and make this finger, like knuckles, stick out a little bit and use my thumb to press that in so it's kind of using it like a drill. I've got that knuckle. I'm using my thumb for support so I don't hurt my finger. Can you guys see my hand okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so from this position, you're gonna think about underneath your opponent's jaw. You're gonna drill right in that little hole in the back of the jaw here, and you're gonna drill that hand in under the chin and then lock it up into the to the rear naked choke. So I come in underneath this hand. Don't come like this. If I come like this, he can put this hand up and stop me. This hand comes from behind, lock it up, and choke. When you put that choke on and you drill this hand in, use this hand to push his chin so it's right in front of your elbow. Then I come up inside, rear naked choke. Since this one's pretty quick to go on, let's do 15 on each side.
Sounded like
Here. Here.
Ah.
Remember to drill that hand in underneath that jaw. Push the chin so it's in front of the elbow. And then lock it up.
You do it? Okay.
Remember, when you're putting this choke on, guys, if I have my head over here, this is not a good choke. I want my head on the opposite side of the arm that's around the neck. So now I've got him squeezed between my shoulder and my head. His head's kind of stuck in there. All right, good. Now, what happens if this guy is sharp and he knows how to pass, and he sees me start to come over with this hand to choke, and he gets his head out over here? Now he's away from my choke, and what's going to happen a lot is he's going to put his weight in this leg. When the weight goes over in that leg and I feel him escaping to that side as he starts to turn and face me, I'm going to lose this position. He got ahead of me and I start to lose. So in order not to lose it 100%, I'm going to let him hop over this leg. And when he hops over with this thigh, I'm going to figure 4 my feet on this side. Now I've got his leg trapped between my hands. My arms are around his head on this side and under his arm on this side. I've still got that figure 4 trapped. I take my hand that's under the arm and I open up the gi and I get my thumb in nice and deep on the collar on this side. Now, here's the part where the movement comes in. I'm going to take my outside leg, I'm going to pick it up, and I'm going to axe kick so I can come up to my knees. And I've got this nice deep choke, and I'm going to sit out with my belly towards his head and choke here. And it's a very powerful choke when somebody's trying to escape. Now, let's walk through that again. I'll go very slowly. So, we've got him in our rear mount. Turn this way so you can see. I start to go for the choke, and he brings his head to the opposite side so he gets out of the choke. So when he starts to fall into that leg and pass, I lock it up, and now I figure 4 his leg. Now from here, this hand is under the head, this hand is under the armpit. The hand that's under the armpit, I open up the gi and I grab nice and deep.
You're trying to.
Axe kick, come up to my knees, and then sit out, face the head, and choke. I'll walk through it again, then I'm going to watch you guys do it. So we start here, rear mount. I'm going for the choke. He brings the head out. So from here, now the hand that was over goes under the armpit. Because I know he's going to pass on this side. He hops over my leg and I figure 4 and I lock that other leg up. This hand is around the neck. Open it up, get the thumb in. Axe kick, come up to your knees, and then turn and sit out, face towards the head, and choke. All right, do it again. I'm going to watch you and see how it looks.
That's fine, don't question.
I know. So, like this.
So,
That way.
Yeah, Josh Pattison, that looks good. Go.
This way. You want to go that way because you want to move forward for my choke.
Josh Bruna, instead of throwing him over your belly, just come up to your knees. Go back to that figure 4 on the leg.
I can't see Josh.
Now just keep him on that side of you, Josh, and axe kick with your right leg. And then pull your left leg out and come up to your knees. Yes, now step out, face his head with your belly as you sit out. Turn on your right hip, Josh. Take your belly towards that red chair behind you. There you go. Now choke with that left arm. Yes, that's the position you want to finish in, Josh. Hey, Kayla, can you angle your camera down a little bit so I can watch you do it?
Yeah. Like that? Is that good?
I see the keyboard, and I see his chest. I don't see his legs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, wait, hold
Yes, there we go.
on. Almost. Stay.
There we go. Perfect. Now go ahead and hop over her leg with your hips. Let your hook out, yeah. But keep your back facing her. Don't go to your belly. Just hop your butt over. Hop your butt over her leg. Yeah, now figure 4 that leg. Don't let it take his last leg out. Put your right leg back between her legs. No, not you, Kayla. Keep your leg there. Put your right leg, sir. There you go. Now lock it up with a figure 4, Kayla. Lock his leg up. Yes. Now, your left hand, reach it over the top of his shoulder and grab his lapel on his collar. Yeah, that's it. Now, axe kick with your right leg and come up to your knees. Yeah, pull your left leg out and come up to your knees. You're going to be on his side. Step your right leg out, Kayla.
Here?
On the other side of his leg, to where your left knee is. No, where your other knee. Yes. Now, just turn and sit out towards the chair behind you with your hips. Exactly, but keep him on the ground. Don't pull him on top of you. You want to be on top of him. What? Watch me, man. You're going to be like this. He's laying down on his side, and you're putting all your weight on him as you're leaning into it, choking with that hand.
Okay. Okay. So here, here. Here, you move that way.
Just hop over the one leg with your butt. Yes. Now walk his leg up. Perfect. Now take your left hand around, grab his collar. Now swing your leg and pull yourself up to your knees. Keep him down on the side. Yes. Underhook his arm with your right arm. And now put his shoulder on the floor. Put your weight on him. Yes. Now sit out and choke him. That's it. Keep him down.
Thank you.
You got it.
Okay. That. This.
Okay, good. Let's finish off the class with a little flow so we can get a little more movement going. So let's start like this. We're going to go back to that rear mount. You can start with either the gi choke or the rear naked choke, whichever one you want. After you do one of the chokes, underhook the arm and pick it up high. Push the face away and go to the arm bar. After you get the arm bar, go ahead and scissor the legs and come up to the mount. Once you're in the mount, cross choke, and the arm bar. And then pull them right back into the rear mount. We'll do it again. Follow me. So, rear mount. Any choke you want to do. Switch to arm bar. Let go of the arm. Scissor the feet. Come up to mount. From the mount, go cross choke. And then mount arm bar. From the arm bar, just pull them right back into the rear mount and do it again. Awesome, that's it. Keep flowing just like that. We only have a few more minutes. Let's try to see how many reps you can get, how many times through you can do it. Kayla, you're hardcore doing that on the hardwoods.
It's a little I appreciate him a lot for going through this with me.
Professor,
Yes, sir.
can you show the leg movement to get out of the initial arm bar into mount?
Of course, yes.
If you-
So from the arm bar here,
Yeah.
I'm just going to push the arm away out of my legs, bring the legs up, and step over to mount.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Of course. So about 1 more minute. Try to keep flowing. Kayla, that arm bar looked good. That transition was nice.
Thank you. You okay?
Yeah, it just pinched.
Yeah. If it's on that, I can make it.
No.
Yeah. Oh.
And of course, when you get to mount, if you know different chokes, you can play any variation of the cross choke you want.
Mm.
All right, guys, time. You guys all have a great day. It was good to see you all. We'll just keep chugging along as we're doing. It looks like I just read watched a report from the governor the other day, and I guess 20 counties in Oregon, as you probably heard, have opened back up. The only thing that's holding up Multnomah County to open up right now is we don't have enough tracers. And so there's not enough people to, if an outbreak happens, to follow all the people that they were in contact with. So they're working on making that happen. As soon as they have enough tracers in play, they're going to open up and we're going to be able to start having classes again. I'm hoping that's by the end of the month, maybe the 1st of June. So look forward to seeing you all in person. Hopefully it won't be but a couple more weeks and we'll be back at it. It's going to be a little different than it was in the past for a while until, you know, things change, but still having you in-house, there's going to be a lot more we can do in here and it'll be a lot better off. So hopefully that's not much further out. So you guys have a good